Good morning, everyone. I know, right? No intro, no nothing. Just boom, back. Here we go. Give me a moment. We just waiting on Morgan. Hey, Rod. Hey, Bosa. Thank you for dropping the comments. I will touch base on that today. Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to be moving throughout the house. So bear with me with the IT because sometimes when I move, I have to move certain things with me. But this is going to be a fun one. I thought this will be a cool one for me and Morgan to cover, specifically because Morgan keeps different species of animals as well. And she keeps the large species of snakes as well. Good morning, Dondi. Good morning, Darren. Welcome, everyone. So I know you guys missed me last week. Just drop everything like that. It's family oriented. And what comes to me more than anything is more important to me is my family, my household, my animals and things like that. So last week was actually my mom. So I just wanted to apologize for that. But I wasn't even thinking about to even delete. It was just more like I gotta go type of situation. But yeah. So I hope everyone had a great weekend. What everybody been up to?
Good morning, Nicole. I'm here this morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
So how's everyone in the chat? Hi, Jamie. Good morning. Good morning. So as we prepare and get ready to show you, basically it's more about what our routine is. We definitely, I'm sure in this morning routine, somebody is going to do something that causes us to pull them out. But typically we just want to, stick to the show, the content of the show, but do kind of show you what our mornings are like. And for myself, normally these are not my typical pajamas, but I do have pajamas. I sleep differently because I have a handsome husband. But this is a camera appropriate. But normally the first thing that I do is I literally come downstairs and there is no order of what I do except for when there's eggs in the incubation. So right now I am right in front of the incubator. We have eggs behind us that are due to hatch any day. And if one give me a sign that it pips, I'll cut those eggs on this live this morning. But they're actually due any day. So the ones on top are at day 56. It's so cool. I'm gonna take these out for a second so y'all can see this real fast. One of the eggs has a window, and it's had the window the entire time. So I've really watched the progress of these eggs through that one right there with that little window right there. So even when I touch him, he moves. So y'all know I'm more into interacting with the animals at every level, right? So once they are fully formed, you normally can't see them because, as the other eggs, they're just opaque. But this one, because it had a window, you can literally, actually, it's not going to hurt them. Let me put these other ones down so I don't drop them. I'm going to pick that one up so y'all can see it. They are fully developed in here, so there's no safety concerns for me other than me dropping it, and I would never do that. I got to disconnect it because there was one that was connected. All right. Take a seat.
So what kind of eggs are these that you're pulling out?
Ball python eggs. You would tell the difference if they was retic eggs. They're like 4 times bigger.
Well, I know the size of the eggs. I walk back. That's exciting. So when are they hatching?
They're hatching any day now. Like you can see them moving around.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So I don't cut my eggs until I see one pip. It's just a practice that always worked for me. It gives me a better thought process of, is the egg really ready? Did they absorb enough yolk? So normally if one does that for me, the other ones are close.
I've wondered that because I've never dealt with snake eggs and stuff, but I used to breed chickens and turkeys and ducks, and I was always told, do not cut the eggs whatsoever. Let them come out on their own. And I know it is probably different for snakes, but it was very important to leave them in as long. Now, if there's like an egg that has not pipped 2 or 3 days after the last one has, like, then yeah, you would cut it. But I've always wondered like what the differences
I don't even think
are
it's
with
different.
that cycle.
Same thing, even in maternal human incubation. You know what I'm saying? You can take a baby out of a woman's stomach at 6 months, and it could survive.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the chances are,
It's
it's
gonna
going
come
to
with
be
issues.
challenges. You can take it out at 8 months, and it can fully be fine. Like
Mhm.
I always talk about the birth of my children. I was so sick with my first daughter that I lost more than 40 pounds pregnant. Okay, I could not keep any. I had what they call one of the worst levels of hyperemesis. And so I couldn't even keep water down. So at about 4 or 5 months, I had an IV most of the time, or I was hospitalized with her. So she pulled from everything, the calcium in my bones and everything. I literally almost died being pregnant with my first one. So that's why I got my tubes tied. And the second one, God just said, I'm gonna make it happen anyway. And that's how Michael got here. But Jada was born at 38 weeks, and she was 6 pounds and 7 ounces. Michael was born at 37 weeks, he was 5 pounds and 9 ounces. If Jada went to term, she probably been an 8-pound baby. If Michael went to term, he might have been an 8-pound baby. But I honestly feel that it's very important with these particular animals because they're animals and not us. Like with humans, even the chance of survival if you come early or you are what you call it, immature, you are premature. There are systems and there are hospital nurseries that's equipped to handle that.
We know more about the human body to be able to help them.
Right.
There's not a lot of people equipped to help animals in that aspect.
There are not people. Think about your adult animals. The reason why we don't put our animals under anesthesia a lot, we make that last resort, is because a lot of times snakes specifically are not going to come back up from anesthesia. So we're talking about intubating a snake. That's one of the reasons why snakes die when we do put them down. They're not built for intubation as we are. And the doctors that serve them are not familiar enough. So I totally feel like, for me, I never will cut eggs unless one of them pipped. Now, once one of them pipped, I'm in there. I'm in there. Now, I will tell you that watching this egg, that one dude, he started moving around about day 44. Day 44, you saw a viable moving egg. Now, I can also tell you there's one egg I removed from here 4 days ago that went bad later in incubation. Not typically, if an egg is going to go bad, it goes bad in the first week or 10 days of incubation.
I knew that from the birds. It was such an exciting process I love like putting a like a flashlight under it.
Yeah.
To see the movement and all the stuff like that. Nothing was more exciting than seeing which ones were viable and which ones.
So we are a lot alike in that way. You got some people who never touch these eggs through incubation. I will tell you, last year, every single day, I was like this. This year, not so much. And today, day 10, day 30, and day 40, I think. And then day 44, because I saw it actually moving.
That would be me. You would find me like outside in my pajamas, like going through the chicken coop, be like, all right, move. I got to look at all that.
So just document all of that. So I can tell you for sure, day 44, and it could have been day 40. I don't know. I just noticed on day 44, you can see him moving in that little window or her moving in that
so
window.
Exciting.
I can even see, y'all, I think it's looking at it, I think it's a black-head Inchie. From looking at it during the window, you can see that much of the color pattern and everything.
But so exciting.
The first thing I do is I come here if there's eggs in the incubator, and I look in the incubator. The ones down there not doing to July 19th, July 17th. So only thing I'm looking for now in these is to make sure none of them are going bad in that first 10 days. And after that, I won't look at them again. So probably like day day 45. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more breeder girls due to lay. So I check them every day, check them with their process, check their behaviors. Just like if y'all can recall, I knew this girl was getting ready to lay because we was on a live on TikTok and her tail was up. I said, she's getting ready to lay eggs any day now. And like today, like I said, within 24 hours, and then later that day, she had actually laid the eggs. So that's how I can tell once they go from that process of going on the heat, cooling off, and then they stay on the heat. And then you see them kind of get very playful, like almost like they want to come out with you, so you'll see them get very active, like a day or two before they are actually about to lay. And I think that's their way of helping the eggs move around, kind of like we as humans walk, females. That's the first thing we do when we in that last couple weeks. We walk because we know that it says scientifically it makes a better labor for us. So I believe that's what they're doing when they get very active like that. Then they'll go and sit on that heat and don't move for like a day. And then when I see that tail go up, I know to expect eggs within the next 24 hours. So I check on them. After I check on them, y'all, the ones in the incubator and the ones that, grab it, or those who are ovulating or, had that pre-lay shed or anything like that, I don't have a routine. I instantly go into the other room. So Morgan, I'm gonna let you step in and start talking about like what your mornings start off with, because my next set goes into the other room and I'm gonna move there.
Okay. My morning routine is not like Nicole's because I'm not breeding. I'm not sure if I ever want to breed, but most of my mornings is just coming in here with a cup of coffee or an energy drink, trying to wake up, and just seeing like if anybody shed, anything like that, if anybody had a bowel movement, whatever. So this morning I did come in and did notice that my ball python did shed. She was looking like just gorgeous. Actually, I have her out. I can show her. She takes forever in a day to shed. So I get extra excited when she does. This is the blue-eyed leucistic ball python. The only ball python that I have. But that's more or less like what I do. I come in here, check on everybody, lay eyes on everybody, make sure everybody's okay, if anybody needs water, things like that. And now, of course, that I have one snake out, they're all like poking their heads up. What about me? But since this girl has not had much time out from trying to shed, I'm just going to leave her out for a little bit. I'm going to go through these comments. Let's see. There was somebody up here. Prophecy Exotic said, click on that show. Getting my first retake because of how amazing Nicole is with hers. I'm saying can't talk. 56%, 6% Sunflower Golden Child. I want to see what that looks. I don't know. I'm not good with genes, but I want to see what that looks like. Especially like the girl, the snow gene. So I have one of
my dwarf is 66.75% Jamp and 6.75%, 6.25% Calatoa, and Tiger had Anery.
So I have one of Nicole's, a Sunfire. What is it up?
You have a Mochanos. No, you have a
Motley Sunfire. Motley Sunfire. I knew it was Sunfire. And I took her to a birthday party Saturday. She's close to 7 feet. She's gotten so big. I was looking at videos from when I first got her. She was like as big around as my thumb.
Right. They grow
so little. Fast. Like she's ginormous, and I love it.
They grow so fast.
But getting a snake from Nicole, best
you
thing I've ever done.
Different snake. I mean, I don't.
Yes, there is a
difference, and I don't say that to shade no other breeder, because there are breeders y'all know that I can't touch as far as what genetics they put together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what can't fuck with me is these babies coming out the egg and these adults and how they are
Right.
behaved. And
If y'all
I will stand. Wait a minute, Morgan, because I will stand 10
stand on
motherfucking
it.
toes down on that. Okay, you're never gonna get me to back down on that. You're never gonna be able to shade me on that. 10 motherfucking toes down. I don't care how long you've been doing it. I ain't even going to challenge Kevin. That's my, and y'all know that's my dude, okay? Kevin McCurley is not keeping these motherfuckers like I am. Now, don't get me wrong. When it comes to fixing them and all that type of stuff, Kevin is your man. But I'm talking about as far as behavior on all levels.
Yes.
Anywhere.
And I can attest to that.
If it's a 2-year-old or if it's a 2-week-old, you're not fucking with Nicole, Lady T's Exotics. And I just want shout out to the people who give me my props, but I need more of y'all to start doing that at this particular point because I'm past that testing point.
So if you follow me, if you follow me on Instagram, I have the same name as Exotics. I've posted 2 reels recently. One with my Sunfire, the Motley Sunfire from Nicole, all up in my face. I give her a little kiss on the head, which I've gotten a lot of shit for. I don't care. I'm going to keep kissing my snakes. So I kiss her on the head. And she like comes and like looks in my eyes like it's amazing. I let her get in my face because I know her, trust her, like she's not gonna do anything. My other retic, who's really sweet, I don't let her in my face because I don't have that bond with her that I do with Nicole's retic. It's different. I'll let my ball python in my face, but I wouldn't let another retic in my face. The one that I got from Nicole is an absolute baby. Like there's nothing, like she said, it's unmatched. You're not going to find a better behaved retake than Nicole's. I'll pull her out too. She's dying to come out.
As Morgan go through that wasn't me. They will knock shit over though, but that was me.
They absolutely will. The big retic that I have, the adult, she's dead, like hell bent on knocking everything over. And she, I don't know if we talked about this the last time we were on the podcast, but we left one day. Because we have a camera set up in my living room. We can tell like what goes on. We left our house at 5:18. And 2 minutes later, I started hearing something on the camera. The big retic busted out of her brand new enclosure. And then she got still. She got somewhere and she stayed still. We got home 3 hours later. No one noticed her sitting on top of the enclosures, and she used her tail to pick up something and just swiped it off. And then just looked at us like, look what I did.
Right. Did y'all not see me?
We saw you.
No, I'm talking about your snake.
Oh, you meant like you're like falling. Yeah, she was like, look what I did. And now I have her doors like duct tape shut. Like it sounds so bad. These are the new enclosures.
Wait a minute though. So check the tempered glass. Even a large retic shouldn't be able to smash your 3/4 inch.
The glass is weak, and because the enclosures are 8 feet long, so in the middle it gets really weak. And she found there is a window about this size that is bendable. That is it in the 8-foot glass. She found this little bitty spot and was able to wedge through it. So then I put something underneath the glass to make it not be able to move. So then she put her chin up on the glass and started moving it this way to move the door. So that's why I have both sides of her enclosure door duct taped, so she can't she can't slide the doors open. I don't worry. Like she's the only one that tries to escape. She wants out every single day. Nikita, I don't even bother locking her door.
They're all different. Like we talked about that in here, and you might want to see it now. I have my Motley Tiger. Y'all see her out because I take her out, but if it's up to her, you can take both of her doors off. We've done this, and I talked about this before, to see even if overnight, if we kept her doors open, if she would come out. She won't. She'll watch other retics go past her, even with her door open. And I meant to upload this video. I'm going to post it to my IG afterwards. I'll even show you how the female retics normally, like, it's a very weird thing, pick each other up. Like, they'll go to each other's enclosures when the doors are open, and they'll be like, you know, come on out. And then they'll follow each other. Like, they'll start this journey around the house together.
That's what Nikita and Antonio, so I have 4, Nikita and Antonio, they are like, from day one, like they were like partners. They look for each other. When I moved Nikita's enclosure away from Antonio's, he knew and he went and found her. And they will stay together. Matilda does what she wants. And then the little black one, like, she doesn't mess with anybody. I accidentally left her door open a couple of nights ago, and I came in here. I was freaking out. Oh my gosh, she didn't come out. She's not gonna come out for anything. She's gonna stare. She's gonna stay at the glass, but she won't come out. They're all so different.
Jamie, that ball python clutch, the one at the top was a inchy lesser to a blackhead yellow belly asphalt. So I wanted some blackhead inchy lessers. When I produced inchy lessers last year, they were my first snake to ever sell out at a show, and period, even online. So I wanted to redo it, but with the blackhead, since I'll be working a lot of the blackhead. And then the other one was a special clutch, because the female is the female that, if John Jones was alive, would have been his snake, but he died while he was paying on the snake. So I paid the breeder for the snake full price, and that breeder donated money to John Jones' children. So that breeder was Gershon. And so this snake will produce my first visual clowns. And the combo was a clown, had albino from GP, to a OD leopard, yellow belly or asphalt.
Hey, Monkey.
Pet clown from Aussie. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting one. I can't wait for that clown clutch in July. Let me get the, hey Sean. Sean, did Joey ever know that she was on our top 5?
Girl.
We get a top 5 female. Hey Tim. I think I said hey Tim. Hey Maki. All right. So
I'm good. How are you, Maki? I'm glad to see you on here. I've missed seeing you on social media.
So these next 2 rooms are the rooms that normally gives me my work in the morning. This is where the boas are, over here behind me. Are y'all behind me? Yeah. And then the retics and 1 pet ball python is in this room. Now, that 1 pet ball python busy acts like a retic. So I am going to tell y'all, animal behaviors is just like human behaviors. If you take a young white kid from the suburbs and put him in Brooklyn and Baltimore, he's going to turn out one of the toughest kids in Baltimore, regardless. Is this period. So what I've noticed with Busy as a ball python, the retics have taught Busy how to be more observant and more intelligent, because he acts nothing like the other ball pythons in his house. He acts like a retic. His activity is retic activity. I agree, Tim. Hey, bro. Hey, Keys. Tim, that comment. So y'all know I love Tim because we share a lot of ideology as far as not limit these animals on what they can and cannot do. I totally agree, Tim. It is way more honest than human behavior. Totally agree. So I'm gonna turn this camera around. You're gonna see behind me as soon as I came in here, we talked about snakes with different personality. Maui is making it clear he wants to come out. So my morning consists of sometimes, oh, yeah, his light is unplugged. Where's my keys? Just letting the ones out who want to come out first. So that's why I don't do anything any particular pattern, because you're going to see him right here. Okay. Let me take this off real fast so y'all can see. Let me turn this around. Can I? I don't know. All right, let's do it that way. I know it's the way I can turn this camera around, right? Yeah.
Are you on an iPad?
I'm on my phone.
Oh, yeah, you should.
All right. I don't know. Just tell me if y'all can see him.
Yeah, I see him.
Okay. So as you can see, he literally just stuck his head out. I'm not putting no hook on him or anything. Why? He has already made a decision that when I'm ready to come out of here, I'm coming out. I already told you I wanted to come out. Bitch, just open my door, which I did. Door is open. He is going to exit very shortly when he wants to come out. Right now, he's thinking like, okay, she opened my door. This is mighty early for me to open his door. This snake knows that, but he's going to take advantage of it. Now, I'm sure in his head right now, as you can see by his tongue flicks, he's thinking, why is my door being open this early? What is she doing? What does she do?
They definitely know the times, because Nikita knows like right at 8 o'clock, I'm coming out to make coffee. Like that's because if you come in here at 7:30 with the lights off, she's sleeping. She's not gonna move. She's not gonna. Right at 8 o'clock on the dot, she's at that door. Like, all right, it's time, bitch. Let's go.
Now this girl,
she's like crawling up my back right now.
You can see this is the Motley Tiger. You can see she's at the window. Can you see her, Morgan?
I can, yeah.
She's at the window, but if I open this door, she's not coming out. This is the one I'm talking about. I'm gonna show you that. She see how Maui just instantly put his head out. She's not gonna do that.
That's what my golden child does. She stays at the door, but she's not coming out.
You see me opening the door and she's moving away, where the other one's just like, nope, I'm coming. Different personalities. So I'm gonna open
completely different.
I'm gonna open her door. He might go down there in it with her because they like to go into each other's enclosures. You see him instantly like, oh, her door's open. But she's gonna stay right there. She will not come out this door. This door can stay open for 8 hours. She will not come out. She will sit her head at the edge. She will watch. And if she move her head, y'all, over just inch, girl, her door is open. She knows that. She could come out if she want to. She knows it. She's intentionally moving away from the open side. But she still wants to engage. You see? Mm-hmm. So I still engage. But just like with every other animal, if she wants to come out, she will. I don't pull these snakes out. So this is what my morning consists of. I'm going to each enclosure, seeing who is woke, observant, who may want to come out, and you can see he's on the move. He's probably going to go visit her.
As you can see.
Now, one of the things I have to be conscious of is that he's in breeding mode, and so is she. So we learned from Chala and Hefe, I have to be willing to let them breed if he goes in that enclosure. Lately, he's just been kind of going in there and hanging out with her. They haven't locked. Yeah. But I have to keep in mind that's a possibility, because if they lock, I don't pull them away. But these two were purchased together, came in the same box, and they have a very special relationship thereof.
Oh, so it reminds me of Nikita and Antonio, even though they didn't come together. I got them 2 months apart, but I feel like they've just grown up. Together.
Now, this room is different. I turn their lights, the big ones, I turn their lights on a little earlier. Mm-hmm. So why is your why your light come on?
So all of mine are all my lights come on at 7:30, automated, and then they go off at 8 o'clock at night by themselves.
Yeah, so I don't set timers because I believe in behaviors. Like, so for me, I don't go to sleep every day the same time. I don't wake up every day the same time. So what I do believe and what people don't believe is that these lights do have a factor in their sleep patterns. So like how you got yours set on the timer, so they're all going to be set to wake up and go to sleep at them times, right?
Right. Well, mine, like the lights come on at 7:30, but that doesn't mean Nikita's getting up. She still waits for that 8 o'clock window.
So I try to not disturb them at all, like even with the lights, because some of them are reactive to the lights until they're ready to get up. But that time can be early. So I watch them a lot from the cameras. So I can control this room here only from the same system I control this camera lighting from, the little smart camera, this one right here.
Yeah.
So I can control it through that. But for most part, I still like to come down here and just see what they're doing anyway. Behavior-wise, you'll notice with the big three, unlike the younger ones there. When I say younger, they only like a year and a half apart, but you can clearly see the difference in size.
Yeah.
They still chilling. Chala, chilling.
Look, the difference in Nikita and my super dwarf golden child, they were born 6 weeks apart, and I want to pull the golden child out and show the size difference between a mainland and a super dwarf at a year old is on like it cracked. It is hilarious to me. I don't know. I know that like super dwarfs are going to be smaller, but seeing it in person with two snakes that were born at the same time, it's funny. And I also want to show you like how long Nikita actually is.
On the flip side, I'll show you a mainland who is nowhere near the size as my other mainlands, same age.
It's funny how they grow because like mine and
T'Challa and Maui and them.
I want to see what Maki's looks like, but I know like mine, Dre's, and CJ's snakes, like they all from the same clutch, all mainlands, and they're all like different. Like CJ's is longer and thicker. Mine is not as long, not as thick, and then Dre's is like skinnier and shorter. Like they're all different
because y'all have different genes. So Dre has a golden child, Sunfire. Witchacom got the beast. He got Chala. He got Motley, Golden Child, and Sunfire.
All right.
And you got the Motley Sunfire.
Yeah.
Maki has
I wonder if I can see
a Motley Sunfire as well. I think Maki has a Sunfire.
Please don't bother me. Come on.
But yeah, they're all different sizes. So I told y'all he would probably go visit her on his own. If y'all can see, y'all been watching. I never touched this snake once I open that door. He's doing what the hell he wants to do. That's how my babies get down. That's how they be happy. The only time I'm going to stop them from doing what they want to do is if it's going to hurt them. Because sometimes they can do some things that can definitely pull down a whole ceiling. So
they're like unhinged toddlers.
Right.
So this is my just turned one mainland. And then this is the 1-year-old super dwarf. I can't even put all of her in the
Mikey,
camera.
they all, but I think yours is way more Sunfire than hers. So, I think hers show more of the Motley than the Sunfire. Yours shows more than the Sunfire than the Motley. Yours, Mikey, when yours shed, it almost looks goldish orange.
Mm-hmm. This is my one that doesn't she won't come out. She's like a little.
That's the golden child snob. All golden childs got a little snob in them until they get older. After Charlotte had baby, she became very, very unsnobbish. But she used to be very snobby.
She's once I pull it, just like Antonia, once I pull her out, she's okay. But she gets so mad that she does this little tremor with her head. And I'm like, you look psychotic. Chill out.
Yeah, she's just trying to get out. Let me put this on so I can.
But
So
see, like
y'all,
once I get her out, like she's great.
I was trying to catch her. Y'all could have saw her sticking her head out, but she was not coming out. She will stay right there unless I go in there and get her. She's the only retic in the house like that. Any of the other ones coming out, but you can also see how he just went in there to hang out with her too.
Mm-hmm. So Matilda would do that. I'm gonna see if I can get that on the camera. See, I can't turn mine on. You see her like she's actively like trying to find another weak spot in the glass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna come over here and undo her door and watch like she won't come out. You gotta go somewhere. I can't hold you. Here. Wow. I hate that I've had to do this. These are the new enclosures, but I'm not exactly impressed with them.
I kind of see the same builders until I build myself.
I wish I like had the money to go to like Black Box or something.
He used to work for Prehistoric, J Prehistoric. So he builds them with certain materials, like they are. You're not breaking this glass. This tempered glass is so thick. Even if I drop it, it's like I have to
see, like she's like trying to use her chin to push on the glass, but as soon as I open this, she might poke her head out, but she won't come out with me in here. She'll wait till I go to the kitchen or something. But like watch her do the opposite of what I say, of course.
So I just turned the boa lights on. And you can see again, as soon as the light came on, y'all, as soon as I turned the boa light on, my boa knew it. He just instantly came out. So these lights where people say they don't trigger them today and night, they do. My only thing is that it doesn't hurt them either. They know. It just helps them understand the day and night. So if you keep a room completely dark, for example, and the only thing they have is these lights, they need that. They need that day and night cycle. If you have them in a room like this room, just natural sunlight. So I don't have to turn these lights on if I don't want to. I just do because I can observe what's going on in their enclosures better, which I think is very important to their husbandry. Thank you so much, Jules. How you been, baby girl?
I have a couple in tubs temporarily, and I make sure to use the clear ones because this is my formal dining room. It has these massive windows, so we get a lot of natural sunlight in here. That's why I use the clear ones, so they do get that natural like day-night cycle.
All right.
It makes all the difference. I've seen like a couple of animals have come from people that did not use any UVB, kept them in dark tubs, things like that. And the difference in those snakes are astronomical. They're a lot more nervous coming into my house and seeing like what goes on in the room, seeing me all the time. Like they're a lot more nervous with it. And it's more work for me to put in to get them to be more comfortable with me, which I don't mind. I love getting snakes that I have to work with. In that regard, it's very satisfying to be able to take in a snake that is very nervous and then get it to trust you. It's like my favorite thing in the world.
The hook for this snake. So I've mastered retics. I don't fuck with boas, okay? They get touched with a hook first, okay? 110%, all right? Okay, so I don't care what nobody tell y'all. Boas are more attentive in handability than a retic will ever need to be. So
Look, okay, so what I was showing y'all a second ago, how she
Lori.
wasn't going to come out.
Welcome, Lori.
She was not going to come out
How
with
are
me in
you?
here. She will stick her head at that window. And as soon as I walk away, she will get out very quickly and very quietly. Like, I'll go to the kitchen to grab a cup of coffee and come back. She's out and somewhere else. But as long as I'm sitting here, she will stick her head in that window and just look at me.
Don't you fool
Somebody's trying to give me one of their boas, but the boa I want is a sun dragon, and it's $5,000. And I don't have
You know
$5,000.
what? I like sun dragons, but I always say they're overpriced.
I think I've seen cheaper ones at expos. So like that was my goal for this year.
Just genetically, it's an overpriced snake because it looks like so many other snakes opposed to an IMG. An IMG is a IMG all day.
Right. Now I'm not in just any sun dragon won't do. Like I found one that it's like $7,000 and there's little to no patterning to it. It's bright orange all over. It's worth the price. Like I've seen some dragons that just, and they're very expensive, but they don't do it for me. But I like that like solid orange look. But yeah, I'm dying for a boa. I have so many pythons. I want a boa.
So, I mean, I would be honest. I love my boas, but it's still a retake for me all day.
No, though, once I handled a retake a couple years ago, and I regret not getting that snake. It was gorgeous. The personality was incredible, and I couldn't stop thinking about it for close to a year. But I just did not think I'd be able to handle the size. And now 2 years later, I have 4. Like retics are, I don't know, like they just do something for me. They're so personable. Their personality is unmatched. I don't think the only other snake that I had like that kind of like connection with was my parrot snake. I don't know. I feel like I have like a true like connection with all my retics. My scrub python, not so much. So
yeah, I think really their ability to use their intelligence to show to know who you are, to show fondness of who you are. That's another thing. They love who they love. Okay, they love who they love, and I use even example with my retakes. They're my males are more they are more about me than my females are. And what I mean by that is that even if my female, if the cow is in a bad mood, soon as she see Michael, she'll come right out to him. But if I went to go get her, she'll bump me. Then I'll be like, I have to come on, get out of here, type of thing. Yeah. But if she see Michael and I just don't even want to deal with none of that, she comes out. Charlotte the same way. When Charlotte see Michael, she's moving. If Michael came out here right now, went in front of Charlotte's cage, where I went in front of Charlotte's cage and she stayed asleep, soon as she smell Michael, she starts to move. So, but those are things. So one of the things, y'all, I love about me and Morgan, we don't do nothing else but these animals all day. So we, I mean, we do other stuff. Y'all see, I'm actually on 2 affiliates of makeup and stuff like that. So you see, I'm doing other stuff too. I'm doing rodents and stuff, but I'm talking about where some of you have full-time jobs and then have to come and do shifts with your animals. Our animals are priority. So it is
a full-time job.
Yes.
Somebody asked me like how my kids feel about it, because I've got a 5 and 8-year-old now. They asked me like how my kids do with it. It is nothing for my kids, even 2 years ago, for me to just walk by, drop a snake in their lap, say, hold this, and walk away for whatever amount of time. And they're like, okay. And it's just like second nature to them. And a lot of people don't understand that, but it's become a job. And not in a bad way, but this is like a full-time job for me, and it's like second nature for my kids. They'll come in here and I say, hey, get that poop out or get that shut out or whatever, and it's just life for them. But it's an all-day thing. Whereas like people think it's just for fun, it's just for social media. While they are a lot less work than dogs and cats, I come in here to relax. I come in here to work. I come in here to think. Like, it's this whole room, like surrounding myself with snakes it has become like my whole life. You're back. Oh, we can't hear you. It is just me. I don't like it when it's just me on here. She'll be back in just a second. Maki said the same thing until I touched one. It was so crazy. I was team Burn for the longest. I get what you're saying. So I didn't have like one snake like one type of snake. I just liked them all. And then once I held a retic, like I feel like my brain chemistry just changed, and I was like, oh, that's it. Like, this is for me. Even though I tried to deny it for a year.
Sorry about that. Someone called my phone. I had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
You're fine. I'm not good at holding down the phone. I get so nervous up here.
I don't know why. It's just like if you was on TikTok.
I know.
It's just like if you was on TikTok. Let me put him back. Go ahead.
I haven't been on TikTok live in a minute. I'm gonna do that today.
Because it's been so hard, even with the makeup. Like, I've been doing the makeup behind the scenes, but I haven't done a makeup live. Like, I am still suffering from Rocco's death. Like, it's so hard. So I haven't felt like, seriously, and I said this to somebody because, like, with it being me and Morgan, if I just have to, the anxiety of just having to just drop off the camera and break down crying, Morgan would still be here, opposed to doing my TikToks. It's just me. So if I, like, and they're long, like those TikToks for me are long. I don't want to start it and just can't finish it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
I don't know. TikTok's been weird anyway. I've been spending a lot of time on Instagram, which some of my neighbors found me on Instagram yesterday. So that's kind of, I was already the neighborhood weirdo with the snakes. And, now I'm the weirdo with the snakes and social media accounts.
So what else I look for? So, the other thing I inspect in the morning and I inspect at night is if there are lights in the enclosure, I like to make sure those lights are working. And if I like to make sure and this is important, y'all, especially for y'all who let your big snakes roam, always make sure your probes on your heat panels are still in place after you have big snakes roaming, because a lot of times your bigger retics will cross cords and they can pull, that weight can pull even a secure probe out of the enclosure, and you don't want your snakes to overheat. So probe position is something that I always look for in the morning and night, especially after I have retics out. What else? Water, we change water every day. What order I do it in, it's no particular order. It's whoever is needing water. I do them first, and then before I go to bed, Michael normally do the others. The only room where we change waters, like I want to say at the same time, is the baby room. That's because they're all in racks. It makes no sense to not do them all while you're there. That's the only room where we don't do that. Thank you, Maki. Maki said,
thank you, Darren. Sweet. My social anxiety, even like on a computer screen, is.
Yeah, I'm like,
I guess so.
Like you just continued on like if you was doing TikTok. I'm gonna show y'all a snake that y'all hardly ever see on live anyway. Let me get him. Hopefully he's not in shed.
Oh, Matilda's actually coming out. So how many people are in here I've seen a couple of people here say like they're team retic, some team boa. Who drop in the chat like if you're team boa or you're team retic and why? Because I've never had like a boa constrictor and I want one.
Huh? Come on, buddy.
Matilda said you better stop, Lana. Look, I promise I'm not. I thought she was gonna come right out just to prove me wrong, but she keeps going back and forth between like coming out and going back in. I think she thinks like if I pull her out, I'm gonna take her to an event. So, bless her heart. But I am done with events for the summer. It's gotten too hot here now to be moving my snakes around.
Here's my other retic. Corn snakes are like retics for us.
I was about to say, like, what kind of morph is that? It's gorgeous, though.
Yes, I love Nipsey. So I love corn snakes. The only thing about corn snakes compared to a retic, corn snakes don't like to be handled as much as a retic likes to be handled. Corn snakes really are animals who could just be left alone too.
Yeah.
But I mean,
they're very active. I used to have one.
Oh yeah, he don't stay still. He ain't gonna stay
but
still.
Mine was
gone.
Mine was
Darren said
not
he's
friendly.
a python person. So Darren,
what's it doing for me?
At them, they're just so odd. They're just weird looking. Like the bodies are different. I love their patterns though. That's what I mean. I love the morphs. But their bodies are just weird, like the anaconda. That's what the anaconda just looked funny in the face for me. But I will tell you, Juggernaut, every time I see him at Tinley, he makes me want to buy blood, but I know that's impulsive. I really don't want it. I just like the way them animals look.
Yeah, I've got one, and I don't know. I couldn't get it to eat. It stressed me out, that's how I ended up with the golden child. But if you're if you're a team, whatever species, right now, like put down why.
Yeah, I mean, Darren put down a good point. Darren said, I love the short, thick laziness of them. And y'all, that's something that people need to understand. So I always tell people, like with a retic, if you don't have time, don't get one. It's not fair to that snake. I told Maki before I shipped her boy, I said, look, let me tell you something. Out of all these babies, this is the one who is an attention seeker every day, all day. You're going to need to handle him when you're not at work. And Maki just fell in love with him. But she could see it right away, like out the box. Yeah. Hug me, love me. Hey, I'm over here. Hug me, love me. He is one of the most I want to be loved on retics I ever seen in my life. And that's his personality. His love language as a retic is hold me, love me, kiss me. Just let me hang out with you all day. But you might have another retic who is polar opposite. And that's the thing where people don't understand. It's like, even in this house, Maki's baby is the exception of I've never seen a retic who want to be loved so much. Now, all my
that's how Nikita is.
But I've never, listen, Maki's boy, like,
and now I'm just
you couldn't breathe around him without him like, please hold me. From the time he was a little thing, he was always like that, out the egg. Like if you watch a video of him coming out the egg, he was probably one of the most responsive out the egg. Like he was just such a, and I was going to keep him, but I had to narrow it down. Like my husband's like, you're not keeping all these animals. So I had to narrow it down to which ones I really wanted to keep. And I ended up switching because when I sold Candy hers, the Candy initially was supposed to get the normal, but then she changed her mind about what she wanted. And I was like, okay, since she changed her mind, I kept the normal. Actually, I gave her a better gene. I upgraded her genetics and kept the normal.
You're so bad.
Which one is that one?
That's Matilda. She finally made her way out.
Oh, the big one.
And she's looking to make some trouble.
Say that's what the big ones do. Like, what can I knock over?
Rotten.
What can I move like to watch a retic?
If you go look at that video that I tagged you in of me and Nikita, it got 500,000 views. But so many of the comments were like, oh my gosh, look at her eyes. Look at the way she's looking at you. I've never seen a snake look so like personable. That's Nicole's snake. That's the only one that acts like that.
Came out the egg, the first thing they saw was, "Hi, baby."
That's what when I take them places, people will ask me, "How did you get them to not bite? How did you get them used to humans?" And I said, before their bodies were completely out of the egg, they were looking at my friend's face, like that's the first thing they've seen in this world.
It wasn't another snake. It was my face. And girl, who is it? I think Chris might have the very first one that came out the egg. His first snake is the very first one that came out the egg. And all I wanted out that clutch was one that looked like T'Challa. So once I saw a little baby T'Challa, that was it. I think my head was in there until every last one of them came out. That was probably, if y'all listen to the videos I shared like with my breeding crew, the most exciting you've ever heard me. Like I'm screaming to my husband, like I'm screaming. Once some babies started coming out, and I never thought that I would produce super Motleys. I just thought that would just be something that just happened. But to get that many in that clutch, it was absolutely phenomenal. And it's weird only having 1, 2, 3, 4 of her babies. That's the only, I kept 4. I was only supposed to keep 2, but my husband let me keep 4, right? I think 1, 2, because one of them is only have one left that's for sale, and that's the albino Motley golden child. All the other ones are here with me. I get to keep them.
Matilda's moving my table.
So I was just, you hear me say that? So the other day, literally, I was standing there. All of a sudden, the table started shifting. I'm like, "Who's moving the table?" And it's you should not be able to move the table with all of this stuff on it. But this big
snake. I have a full-on piano in my foyer, and it takes 2 adult men to move that thing. Matilda moves it away from the wall like it's a piece of paper. So like she gets back behind there and like pushes it out against the wall, scratches up the floor, and I'm just over here like,
"Yep." Darren said he's going towards less after snakes, and so that's what I always ask Darren, and that's a good point because I ask people because like sometimes people would even inquire because I deny people purchase on retics all the time. If you ever, I go through that question like. Recently, a guy posted that he wanted to buy the albino Motley golden child, which like I said is the one that's left. And I don't think when people read, if they think I'm just saying it, no, you're getting vetted. So I said, give me 48 hours to do my research, and I'll let you know if the animal's available for sale. Don't send any money. I'll let you know to send your deposit once I have confirmed. Mm-hmm. Immediately, I asked, who did you purchase the other because he said that first red flag. I kept retics before, but then me and my girlfriend broke up. I had to give them away. That's not the scenario I want for my animals. If you're dependent on somebody else's living, if you're dependent on somebody else's lifestyle, I'm not selling my animals to you. I want people who would say, I'm not moving there because my animals can't come.
Right.
I'm not relocating there.
Right. If somebody in my neighborhood said it's now illegal for you to keep these snakes in your neighborhood, I'm packing up my house and I'm moving.
Me too. I'm
not getting rid of them.
That's not going to happen, right? So I will always say to people, it's so important to ask those questions because that's not who I want my animal to go to,
right? And for me as a consumer, that's important. Like I look for people like that to buy from because I don't want to buy snakes from just anybody or not even just snakes. I met a guy at an expo who didn't know anything about me. I already wanted a dwarf caiman, but this guy didn't know that. He didn't know anything about me and was telling me, "Oh, I've got a dwarf caiman for sale. I think you'd be great with it." Immediately, and he's in my area. I could go get a $400 dwarf caiman today. I'm not going to do that. I'm never going to buy from him because he's just looking to make a sale. He doesn't really care about the animals. So I look like what I loved most about you is you asked me probably more questions than I asked you. You wanted to make sure that your animal was going to a good home.
And when I say to people, I unfortunately, based on my research, I'm denying the sale. So this particular guy, I asked him, well, who did you buy your other retics from when you were buying them? The only person he ever bought them from was a person who ran a Facebook flipping group. Literally, that's what it was. Denied. You're not buying my animal because it's reasonably priced, so you can overprice it and sell it to somebody else who ain't gonna take care of it. Won't work for me. And when I tell y'all I research, so I have a cousin, y'all, who actually does that for a living. So if it's anything that I need them to dig into, they can dig into. If Dre can't figure it out himself, okay? Because Dre is a researcher in his own. Okay, so we gotta go past Dre. If I gotta take it to the next level, it gets taken to the next level. So I never want to breed, not even with the ball pythons. Not saying that my vetting process is not the same with ball pythons, because the chances of you fucking up a ball python's life is different from a retic. Like, you can make a retic miserable if you're never going to handle it. You know, you can make a retic miserable if you never come. Like, even the ones who don't want to be handled still wants attention. They want to see you at the glass every now and then. You know, you can make a retic miserable if you don't let them just come out and get a good stretch every now and then. So I don't want somebody who don't understand the importance of that. And I mean, at any cost. There are some days that I might just want to run out the house and go to the gym. I can't do that yet because I have a retic in a corner like this because there's a pile of shit on the other side. I know they hate the smell of their own shit. I cannot torture them any longer. They probably was like this for about 6 or 8 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get that done first for them, and then go.
You gotta look in that video. This guy made this point. He was like, snakes, you know, rub all throughout their own shit and all this stuff.
Not a retic.
He got drug in the comments. People are like, okay, well, tell me you're a disgusting keeper,
right?
Without telling me, like, you're supposed to clean their.
If they have a choice, they going around it. If they're rolling in it, they don't have a choice. But if
all of mine have a spot.
It.
All of my animals have a spot, a specific spot in which they go to the bathroom. Or even the toad, he has his one spot. But that people were like, you're telling on yourself. They're not disgusting animals. I get why, like, some people would not kiss their animals, but I do.
Yeah, I don't kiss I'm be honest. I don't kiss Nipsey. I don't kiss ball pythons, but my retics get kissed on a regular, and they kiss me back. In fact, a couple of them will kiss me first. Y'all see that all the time. Mystical comes out. The first thing Mystical do is come, and he go, and then he goes.
That's what Antonio will come and put his face like right here, press it against my lips until I kiss him, and then he goes on about his day. But he will stay there until I kiss him.
Maki said, facts. My lady lives in Florida, and I told her about them being illegal. She immediately switched that idea. Yeah, like, if I can't go, my animals can't go, because we would be in South Carolina or Georgia right now if it wasn't for
right. We almost moved to Florida, and then all that stuff happened with the FWC, and I was like, we're good. We can stay in Mississippi.
Hey, Nameless, what's up?
Morgan wouldn't let that baby kiss you on the grill. Okay, yeah, the big yellow one, no, because I've seen her, like, actively hunt things. She tried to eat a dog bed. She got fixated on the dog bed and then slowly opened her mouth. And
you didn't raise
and try, and I didn't raise her. So that's a
good point, because I'm telling you that
Nikita, I let her kiss me all day long. That big one, no. She's 9. She was 9 when I bought her. I don't know what that first 9 years of her life looked like. And I've seen her try to eat a dog bed slowly. She doesn't strike at her food. She slowly opens her mouth once she gets fixated on it. And the issue was she was fixated on my face. If she had like just come up and then kept it moving, that would be one thing. But she got fixated on my face, my forehead specifically. And I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing this.
And all retics don't get that facial exposure, y'all. So one of the things that I say to people, you can put my retics anywhere because they get it from early. But even the retics that I purchased, it wasn't until they got older that you see me with Charla in my face. I got when she was 4 months. So she was young, but she wasn't my baby out the egg like Nikita and the ones that I had.
Yeah, so Nikita and Antonio was 1.5 when I got him. And I'll kiss him. He's fine. But like this little bitty one right here I'm not kissing her. She doesn't have that same
And you have to know the difference.
She's not kissable. She doesn't. She's not going to be okay with me kissing her head. The yellow one. The way that the fact that she doesn't strike at her food or anything else is what makes me nervous. She slowly opens her mouth and then latches onto something. And I don't know how to explain why that makes me more nervous. I guess because I can't see I can't see it coming. Like before a snake strikes, you know it's going to happen.
Part of it is because you didn't raise her, so you don't know what that looks like. You could say something with a snake that you raised because you know what those movements are, that eye movement, that body language of that snake prior to it taking that next action.
Yeah.
Like
but the only thing that I've seen with her is her getting fixated on something. That's my only tell. And she doesn't always open her mouth to bite something.
Yeah.
But the fact that she got fixated on my forehead, like, yeah, we're not doing this. I kiss my boas. Okay, you're really making me want a boa now. Especially sun dragon. I want to go to Tinley and I want to find a sun dragon in person. I've seen them for like $2,000 and $3,000, but the ones I'm seeing on Morph Market that I want are $4,000, $5,000, $6,000.
And that's why I say to people, a lot of these stories that you hear, even when rare, it's normally someone taking an animal from somebody else's custody. This is why I don't rehome my animals. My animals live or die here, okay? I don't rehome them because it's stressful for them to go somewhere else to somebody else who don't know how you handle it. Like, so if I had to rehome one, let's say if I sent it to Dre, I'm not worried because Dre knows the lifestyle that those animals are giving. He's going to continue that lifestyle. But when you give it to somebody that you don't know, I was watching,
you don't know what's going to happen.
It might have been on IG where it was I don't know if it was a news article or whatever, I can't remember, of someone sharing it that a boa attacked a woman. And I was like, look, show me the snakes.
I saw that, yes.
Come on now.
Well, I saw it on TikTok.
And the way she was talking about my snake attacked me, she just took the snake in. First of all,
it's two of them. It's two of them.
Right.
And she did not have any boas. She only had ball pythons.
So what happened is, it didn't attack her because, like I was saying, show me the video because y'all send a boa attack. Attack means that a boa came into the house and it's chasing you right now and it got you hemmed up in a corner. No, you got a boa that you knew nothing about, and I just showed you as a person who kept these from the time they were babies. I use a hook before I go in here with these boas. You did not do the same, and your ass got shown with a boa is when it wants to be shown. And it probably was a boa who didn't eat anyway. The people who sent it to you probably didn't feed it. So it probably was a hungry boa.
She said it was rescued.
That's what I wanted her to say. I wanted her to say.
But my thing was, she said, I'm an experienced keeper. I have 11 ball pythons. I rescued these 2 boas yesterday and then had both of them out together outside, handling them the day after, bringing them into your home. That was my whole thing. You have no experience with boas. You rescued them, so you don't know what kind of background they had. You have 2 of them, and you took them out the day after handling when they are incredibly stressed. And they weren't even they were wrapped around her legs or something.
My whole point was I wanted her to clarify that she was not attacked. You were bitten. You were bitten.
Yeah, because you have 2 extremely stressed out large snakes. And then people in the comments were like, oh, see, snakes are evil. I'm like, no, this is what went wrong. There's a lot to unpack in that video. And every single scenario, no matter which way you look at it, the human was wrong. She was in the wrong. She fucked up and she paid the price. But then her actions made all pet snakes look bad.
Yeah, but Elias too, I think when people say they have experience with snakes, they had experience with a corn snake and then determined that they have experience with all snakes. I will call myself Rita Queen all day, right?
Yes.
But that ain't meaning I'm coming over your house to fuck with your king cobra. In fact,
Right.
I don't want you to even take
Keep the king
out
cobra.
age, okay? When I went to Nerd and went to go see Lilith, Kevin would tell you, even though he kept saying, come over, my ass was over there. While he went sticking his hand all in there, I was over there. I ain't gonna be a witness to something happening to him, okay? I'm way over in this corner. In case Lilith comes sliding out, I can slide right out this damn door. I am not messing with your king cobra. I am not an expert on any venomous snake, okay? I don't care how slow a gaboon viper is. I'm not picking one up, okay? I don't care how gorgeous a rattlesnake in the wild is. I might relocate it from one side to the other to protect it from something or something like that, or to get it out of my path, but I'm not handling your rattlesnake, okay? And that's the problem. People make that mistake. Me keeping ball pythons longer than I kept retics, many years longer than I kept retics, okay, did not make me an expert in retics. It was me raising them up, handling them, doing things that people said you couldn't or wouldn't be able to do that made me an expert in handling them. I started doing better with them than people said who actually mentored me, okay? So that's where I feel like my expertise came in at.
It comes in with the experience and handling them. It's not just having them. You have to work what you have to put in the work. It's not just getting them and putting them in an enclosure and feeding them every once in a while. It's the work that you put into it. But people don't see that. They think, oh, a snake is a snake. You're absolutely wrong, because you can have the same species of snakes and they could be totally opposites. So every species of snake is going to have a different temperament, different personalities, different qualities that they're all going to have. But people that don't keep snakes don't realize that.
And on the flip side of it, people don't realize that I don't get struck at by retics, but I get struck at baby ball pythons. I think that's another myth, assuming that the animals, the larger snakes that we do keep, are harder to keep. No, you just need to understand them. But once you get that understanding and expertise, I can tell you by nature, my retics don't strike. Ball pythons, when I go open up baby ball pythons anyway, will.
Yeah. So
it's all subjective to the individual animal. I think that's where we should end this on. Our routines and handling them is going to be based on, like Morgan mentioned, she's not a breeder. I'm both. For me, keeping comes first, except for when it's babies in the incubator, because I'm responsible for the life. And I take that seriously. The mother of this clutch, I just sold to my nephew. My nephew just got her. Well, I gave it to my nephew. He still sent money. Let me just be clear. I gave my nephew 8 animals, including the retic. And he was told, it's just the way he operates. That's how we operate, period. Because even when he had this business, I wouldn't let him just do stuff for me for free. But you don't owe me anything, and still money ends up in my Cash App. So shout out to my nephew. And my nephew, y'all, is actually, I done gave people the masterpiece to building these enclosures themselves. He's the first person who's ever executed. So if you're looking for an enclosure, a custom enclosure built, hit up Renaissance Reptiles. My nephew, before he started Reptiles, he was great with his hands. This is what he did. When I tell you his first enclosure, you would have thought he was professional with it. It was
Renaissance Reptiles.
Yeah, he is doing amazing work. So if anyone is interested, please just hit him up. He's on IG, he's on TikTok too. And just let him know that I sent you so you can get a discount.
So Maki has a good question.
Is this the one? At what point do you two say that someone is experienced keeper? What signs do you two look for? So that's tough, because I've been keeping for 35 years, and I would still say I'm getting experience on different levels. When it comes to like ball pythons, for example, I kept them for years. I'm still experiencing new things, breeding them. I'll give you an example. One of the things that I was told is that ball pythons will come off food. Y'all heard me on my live when I pulled the eggs. The one who laid eggs ate up until the day before she laid. Like literally, she ate the day before, and the next day it was eggs out there. So that's a myth. So I'm learning. So Maki, to your point is, I think we become experienced when we have enough knowledge that can express that animal's life from birth to death. What happens when an animal lives, the life, and then it dies, and what we do after that, right? That's when I think that we've had full life circle experience. However, I don't think none of us ever would master it because we are learning new things every single day. I know we was talking about the curly hair keeper a couple weeks ago, self-incubating eggs like Kevin McCurley has been doing for a few years. I personally never want to do that. I want to ensure the safety of the eggs. However, let's say if she does this for 3 years and she never has an event, Nicole Tisdale might decide 3 years later to let himself incubate. So, you know, watching her now, so this is a learning experience. We're going to learn, and I'm sure it's other people who've done it, but she's documenting it, right? We're going to learn from Abby if it's possible. Just like people told me that I'll never be able to touch the tongue of a retic or put my hands in a retic mouth or any of that by myself. Yeah. And I do it every day. And I can tell y'all it's possible. You just got to develop that relationship with the animal at a younger age. So yeah, that would be one thing. I think that once you have experienced all the situations of it from birth, through living, through aging, and through death, then you become experienced. But with reptiles, let me keep in mind, I've been keeping 35 years, only seen that type of death once, and that was with a 22-year-old ball python. I probably won't see it again for a long time because these animals live for a very long time. So that's another reason why we don't have enough. People die every day, right? But snakes in captivity really don't, unless you're just a poor keeper. These things will stick it out. Even a sick snake. Poor damn, the cow done been through it all. Okay? Yeah. Been through it all. She should have been dead if you ask me, but no, I'm just saying. Most animals wouldn't have survived a year of treatment that she pretty much went through to figure out what was going on. And still to this day, we don't know why it happens with her. There's nothing in her blood that identifies it. It's nothing in her. I'm going to blame it on husbandry that we don't see, but it's something in her, the combination of something, and it could just be her, or like just something that's genetically wrong with her, right? But she went through a lot, and she's fine and active, and even going through it, she never stopped eating. She never stopped being active. Y'all see me give her medicine one day, her eat the next day, climbing a wall the next day. You know, you wouldn't know nothing was wrong with her if I didn't tell you. You know, or was wrong with her if I didn't tell you. Right. But we mostly don't see these animals live and die. You know, a lot of us pass them on before they die. So that's what I would say. I think we always learn, and none of us are expert. And you could be a new keeper.
That's one thing that I look for, though. If someone's coming in and saying I'm an experienced keeper and I know everything about these animals, that's a turnoff for me. That immediately raises red flags, and I'm like, no, you don't. Like you cannot be so arrogant to say, I know everything about snakes when not a whole lot, or like you said, like we're learning new things every day. So yeah, if someone comes in and says, I'm an experienced keeper and I know everything about all the snakes, you're full of shit. And I don't trust you as a keeper. And I guess in the regards, like regards in like which you how you handle your animals. Do you just keep them in their enclosures? Are they just showpieces in your homes? What do you do with them? How do you interact with them? Those things are important to me in telling how well you know your animals, or if you're experienced, because anybody can put a snake in an enclosure and leave it and feed it every once in a while. But that's not going to make you an experienced keeper because you don't have the experience in interacting with that snake.
Right. Or what do I do if the snake hooks onto this or get behind that? Like that's something with retics early on that I get a lot of questions on when someone has a retic that they got from somebody else, or a retic who, let's say, for the first time, even if they raise it up, got stuck behind something. For example, I'll get the question, how should I approach it? And those are things that you learn with that specific retic at that moment. I can't tell you to approach your retic the same way I'm going to approach Shyla. Shyla is used to that scenario. I can't tell Michael to handle the cow in the same way that I will handle Shyla. If the cow is under something, you want to see her visibly. She's way more timid than Shyla is. You can touch Shyla in the dark and she's not going to react because she's so fucking used to us. Like she knows it's us. But yeah, Rock, this is one of my bloods. This is the girl. And I agree, as babies. Now, as she's getting older, she's not as temperamental. But when she was a baby, thank you. You definitely didn't want to stick your hand even in her baby enclosure without letting her know that it's you, because she will bite you in a heartbeat, and a quick bite. But this was my granddaughter's favorite to handle. This was my granddaughter. And my granddaughter loved the fact that she was striped. So that's another thing. With kids, some kids, if you have children raising around animals and they're not afraid of the bite, let them handle those feisty animals, because then they'll naturally get a bite and it makes them not afraid of being bitten. Now, I'm not telling you to let your child get bitten. That's not what I'm saying. Some kids want to go. Like Skylar loves a snappy snake. He wants
my youngest, when he was 3, he got bit on the face by my king snake. And he wasn't alarmed by it. He was just like, oh, well, that happened. And I explained why that happened. Well, he was moving too quickly, and that's his favorite snake. He still handles her. When it comes to my oldest, he went to go stick his, and this is how my dad raised me. He never said, don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. So my oldest, Wesley, went to go put his hand in Antonio's enclosure. And I said, let's think about this. If you do this, the snake is going to strike at you. This is one that you're going to want to use a snake hook with to get out. Once he's out, he'll be fine. But if you put your hand in there, you're going to get bit. The choice was up to him. If he wanted to risk it, fine. Well, you're going to learn what a retic bite feels like today. And also Antonio is still very small. So, but he made the choice and learned that day how to use a snake hook. And now he knows, okay, this particular snake, I'm not sticking my hand in. He knows to get one of the hooks, and he knows how to get them out.
Yep. I never, if she wants to handle anything feisty, I mean, I wouldn't let her, if I had a big feisty animal, I wouldn't let her handle that, of course, because that bite can be dangerous to a child. But to the babies, any baby, like one of the OD babies I have in there, a ball python, you're definitely going to get struck at going in there. Oh, she wants that on every single time. And she likes to show, see, watch. And she won't get bit because she knows what to do. Why are you on my glasses?
That is my favorite. That's the retic's favorite place to be, is right here, or going up underneath them.
Straight up over my head. The ball wants to take off my glasses. I need to be able to see this morning. Okay, is that all right? She is a pretty snake, though.
She is very pretty. Someone's trying to give me their adult boa constrictor.
Girl, you handle retic's. I can tell you can handle it with a hook. Just with a hook.
Yeah, but it's just not what I
want. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's better
I want
to raise
something that
I think.
I like having.
Thank you.
Like all of my snakes look different. I don't really have any like normal. I would take a normal retic. That I think those are just absolutely gorgeous. But I like having snakes that I can pull out.
The eggs restrict the digestive system in ball pythons. I'm not sure what you mean, Bill. I disagree with ball pythons or food.
I think he was talking about the feeding right before they lay, because you said you had
it doesn't restrict anything. So this is the whole thing. The animal ate and laid eggs. The animal ate and laid her eggs. The eggs are just fine. It doesn't restrict a thing. I think where the myth was is that they would not take food, right? So to my point is, one of the things we look for is an animal coming off food to determine whether or not they are laying eggs outside of the sonogram. That's not an evidentiary thing anymore, because I just said, for me, I fed and an animal laid the next day. So technically she never came off food for me to say, oh, she must be getting ready to lay, right? She ate and then laid the next day. So that's my point. So
now you've been able to have that experience.
Exactly.
Where a snake did something that you were told
it
would
wouldn't
not
do.
What we've all been told would not do.
Exactly. So you can't, for people who don't use sonograms, you can't say, oh, wait till she come off food, and then typically after that, she's ready to lay. I have a snake who literally ate, went next day to change water, and she was on eggs.
Right. It's fun to see the not even just in like the pet snakes, but the
no, Bill, it's not whether I know better or not. It's the experience is the teacher. Because I believe that up until the other day.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, this is one of the things that I want people to understand. It's never a right or wrong. Even if, Bill, you discover something, that's your experience. People will argue your experience. They can't argue that with you, Bill. We can debate what we think. We can debate what we've heard. What we can't debate is what we've seen. Right? So I don't think, and I think that's what people don't understand, is that Bill could produce snakes that never come off eggs. I mean, come off food before they go on eggs.
Yeah.
And it may be many breeders before myself. That's why they believed it. So that's why they thought that every snake comes off eggs. I just literally had a couple snakes who ate one, the last one within a week she laid, but one literally the day before it laid the eggs. The clown ate the day before she laid those clown eggs.
That I love seeing, like getting those experiences when you've been told, okay, this is how these snakes are, or whatever, and then seeing something completely different.
That's because Elias, Maki, it may be way more lovable. Like, and I'm not being smart, but like, you know, like that Hawaiian aura in Maki, and I'm dead serious. Like, Maki has a spirit. I say that about Michael with being disabled. I think something about his intellectual spirit that the snakes just react differently to. Mm-hmm. I truly believe they can pick up on pheromones. Maki is loving, and that's why I said her retic was perfect for her. When she asks about different personalities, this one is perfect for her because she's going to be extra with the attention it gets. So that's possible. You can take an animal from one place and it may thrive in another atmosphere. You said it. If you didn't have the time to give that it needed, and you knew that Mikey was going to be able to give it, you knew as a keeper what was best for that animal. You didn't put it in a worse situation or unknown situation. You put it in a situation catering to that animal. That's still great keeping to me. It's the people who buy stuff, give it away, and then buy more stuff. If you didn't have time for that, then you don't have time for that. Maki said, I can't wait to bring him home. Oh. All right. So that's a wrap, y'all. This was a good episode. And tell us, like, I'm still on this mission on what type of shows y'all want. I think these always do really, really well. Like when we're in the snake rooms and we're having conversation, even if we're not pulling out a bunch of snakes, but we get to visually educate on our experiences. Again, one of the things that I think Morgan does that I do a lot of too is researching the animals that we keep. So we like to bring to light our different experiences. And then, you know, we keep different species. Morgan keeps spiders that I don't keep. I keep tarantulas. Morgan keeps spiders that scare.
I don't like tarantulas, but I'll keep a black one.
But those little tiny ones, oh my God, they just freak. Little baby tarantulas freak me out, okay? I could never buy like what you call them, the real little ones, y'all. is a word for them. But I like to get mine where you can at least see it as a spider. But some of them be real, real small, and then you raise them up. Like I raised some of them up from small, but not to the point where they be like jumping spiders. You can have that. Like, oh hell,
I love jumping spiders.
Hell no. But that's my point. We keep different types of animals, so it's intriguing to know what you're doing over there, as intriguing as it may be for you to know what I'm doing over here. Hey, Craigs.
Yeah, I think it's sling is what she was trying to say.
Thank you, Mike.
But yeah, I like that me, you, and Dre all keep different stuff. We live in different areas, different backgrounds.
It's been me. It's not Morgan. So my emotions has been so up and down. And literally, it's been hard. I'm better and I'm getting better. But last week, it was a situation where, you know, I just was stressed out about my mom. But everything's good now. We got test results back. So we're good. I'm trying. And then another thing I wanted to say, like, I just don't ever want to be just another podcast, right? I want to always bring something different than everybody else is bringing. And I think that Morgan and I have that advantage, you know, because of how we keep. So.
Yeah, the different. It's not like we're both breeders. We're both keepers. We're both from the same area. There's so many differences between the two of us.
Yeah.
But we found like common ground with keeping reptiles in general. And it works out. I love the way that we play off of each other and can share the differences in what, like how we think and things like that. And it always ends up being a good time.
Yep, absolutely. So we look forward to it too. Like, last week it was last minute. Like Morgan probably was waiting log on. I was like, oh shit, I forgot to tell Morgan.
I know. I was like logging on right at 7.
Right.
And then I
forgot to even delete the whole thing.
Oh, I deleted it.
Oh, you did? Okay, thank you.
I was like, you were like, you can go in there. And I was like, nope. I don't know what I'm doing.
It worked out. It's a whole hot mess, yo. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get my life right. Losing my baby has really turned me upside down. I keep telling you, I've been singing Burna Boy's Alone. Like that song just reminds me of Rocco so much. Like it's the whole him being here, not being here. We were laughing the other day. He's been gone almost 2 months. So the middle of June 16th will be 2 months. And we're still finding Rocco hair. Like, I'm like, it's no way one dog had this much hair. It's 2 months later. And we're still finding hair. So every time I find hair, I cry again. So, or the other day, my cousin sent something in the mail and my husband opened it first. He was like, you don't need to look at this until after you do your makeup. Like, you don't need, because that's my whole day is gone. Like, if I see a picture of something of him, like it takes me hours to get my emotions back, and then my husband suffer from my emotions because I get emotional about everything when it's around him. So y'all, I've been transparent. This has been the hardest shit I've ever been through with losing this dude, right? It's been tough because that was my heart. Like I can't believe he's dead. Like how can Rocco be dead? So it's it's a recording from Burna Boy's one of his songs, and it goes, legends never die. I'm gonna get that recorded. So every time that I go next to Rocco, I'm gonna press a button on it and it will say legends never die to just remind me that he's always around. So
I like that.
Yeah. Your personalities mesh and make for a great. Oh, thank you, Darren. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it shows how relationships happen. I met Morgan as a customer, and we just bonded ever since.
Right, and then we met in Daytona very last minute, and just stood outside the hotel door and just like chatted. Like we could have stayed there all night and just talked. It was great.
And so I tell people all the time, once you become a customer, you become family. You know, unless you do something bad to my animals, but yeah, like it's like it becomes an attachment, but then it's like I started following Morgan, and then just so much to see, you know, how she does things, and it's good too that she's on that earlier cup. So Morgan would try things that I probably wouldn't try, so I can trust. If Morgan started to do, I mean, not just using as an example, breed and do maternal incubation, I would definitely trust everything that she said because I know that we think about our animals the same way. We think about their lives same way. So the risk versus the reward will definitely be evident. But I do trust Abby too. So I just, like I said, that's somebody who I probably watch off over the next 3 years and see how, it works out. I can tell you this. If the death ratio is higher than incubating, I would never do that. I would never risk it. But if, let's say, for instance, if through this whole process she lose one snake, I'm just using it as an example, you can lose one snake incubating.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So even if it's one snake a clutch, that can happen with incubating. So just kind of like watching that experience through her, and
it's nice to see. I've had like some people, especially locally, when they find out that I'm on social media, say things like, "Oh, you're on there for attention" and things like that. And it's not why I started my account.
That's not the passion behind it. Trust me,
I wanted to.
You can get it other ways.
I wanted to. If I wanted the attention, I'd go to my local pool and be like, "Hey guys, I keep snakes in my house." I don't do that. My friends do that. They're like, "Hey, this woman's like."
In person, she can turn to the back. Okay, she can turn to the back. I got a snake. Okay.
My friends will be like, "She has a snake. She's crazy," and I'm over here like dying internally. I'm like, "Please don't look at me." But like, I did it because I wanted the community. I wanted to meet other people that kept these animals that relatively not many people keep,
Right.
But then it got to be more of, I was learning so much from all these people that that I've been following, and then other people started learning from me. So now it's for the community. It's so I can learn from other people and other people can learn from me. It's not about the attention. And I think the minute it becomes about attention, you become unauthentic. You start losing followers because people can see that clear as day when it's for attention and when it's for a better purpose.
I will add, because you see this, especially with a lot of the, not the breeding men, but a lot of the, what I want to call the content created men, they become frustrated. Then they come on there and they screaming about the views and all. It's not about the views.
Right.
It's about, because trust me, for me, especially when it comes to retail, it takes a lot to record all the content, right? It's about wanting people to see these animals in a way that you wouldn't otherwise saw. And I can say this too. You didn't see people showing you how calm Retix was until 2018 when I started making it visible. Then other people wanted to show it too, right? When we started hitting that pave at the same time. It was exceptional at that moment. That's why I do it. When it comes to the breeding, I like to show things and I document everything. We always joke about that. I document everything on the breeding because there has been so many things, even breeding in the short time that I've been breeding, that I have seen that is different than what I have been taught. Right? Going to the fact that the animals ate the daggone rat and laid eggs the next day. Based on what everything someone told me, she shouldn't have been ready to lay eggs because she should have came off food 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Right.
The animal showed me differently. So yeah. And she took her.
I will say like that, not in regards to like keeping pet snakes, but that's how I became obsessed with snakes in general, because I grew up hearing all these things about snakes. And then once I started seeing them out in the wild and noticing they weren't doing what I was told they were going to do, I became obsessed with learning everything about the native snakes in my area. And that's what got me into keeping pets too. And it happens with, in the pet trade too, people say, oh, they're going to do this, whatever. And then I get them and they don't do that. So yeah, that like seeing the differences in what I was told snakes were going to do and like seeing what they actually do is what drove my obsession to keep them in the first place.
Yep. So the next show I'm doing, Rock, will be Gettysburg, which I know is my favorite show to vend, on July 20th. So we will be at Gettysburg, July 20th. I'm always at Gettysburg. So that's the one show I'm going to do twice a year, regardless of how many animals I produce.
Are you going anywhere? Are you going to go to Daytona or anything like that?
We're definitely in Daytona. Definitely. I'm hoping to bring Michael this year because his birthday is the 15th. So we try to make a whole trip out of it for him too for his birthday. But yeah, I hope you can. Definitely. And by that time, the new clown combos, which those will be all holdbacks probably anyway. But I wanted to bring one for display, but they'll be hatching right around that time. So I won't have one to bring for display, but I will have I only have one retake for sale right now. That's the only not just like I'll bring the remaining ball pythons. But Gettysburg to me, even if I don't sell a snake there, which I always do sell at least one, but even if I don't sell, it's the whole atmosphere that I love about this show. So I encourage anybody to come. It's definitely my favorite show to event, hands down. As far as attending,
Elias, you going to Daytona too?
I haven't attended in years as just a patron, so I don't walk around a lot because I'm normally at my booth engaging. But I can tell you all the fun vendors are definitely there.
Is that Gettysburg?
Yes. Yeah.
Wish I could make it up there.
Yeah.
I need to meet up at another expo. I'm going to think on Daytona. I may have booked something for that weekend.
So,
but if not, I will make it to Daytona.
Right now, these airlines and their shady employees got me scared to fly with all of the crap happening. Like, when they hired all of these subpar people over 2020 after COVID, it's starting to show in these planes. So, like, I have to get over that. Y'all know I hate flying. And now that I don't drink, like, I used to get drunk to fly. Like, I was the girl, woo, get me to my chair in first class, pass out. Yeah, I can't do that no more. And the last trip we took was to Atlanta, which was a short flight, and I was sober. I did it. I was proud of myself. But when you start getting into them longer flights, I don't know if I can do it yet. But Daytona, we drove last year. We're going to drive again this year, especially if we make a whole trip out of it. So I know, Darren. I'm ready to go, Darren. This is way past our time. I know that's right. All right, y'all. Y'all have an amazing Monday. We appreciate you all. Darren, thank you for keeping us on track. Well, technically you didn't. You did give us a warning like 45 minutes earlier that we were over, but we kept going. But we appreciate you, Darren. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Elias, Maki, Rock, Bosa, everybody who's come through. Jamie, look, everybody.
Hey, this was a good show. If it lasts double the time, it means it was a good show.
We'll see Antoine in Daytona. I miss Antoine. I normally get to see Antoine in Tinley, but neither one of us been. So I get to see Antoine, which is probably one of my all-time favorite people to see in person. The energy is real all the time, okay? So we get to see Antoine in Daytona because Antoine is on the East Coast now. So yeah, we get to see all of our favorite people there. So hopefully we get to see you, Morgan, again there. But
it's a fun show.
We're definitely going to be there.
It's fun. I'll try to make it. I'm gonna try to make it. I may even like cancel my event that I booked. Florida's so fun. There's so much to do around there too.
Yeah,
even with like the other shows.
I didn't even do. I spent 4 hours probably the entire time at the show. The whole entire time was there. I had such a good, the atmosphere, the people, even the funny stuff that happens along the streets. If you ever just walk the boardwalk, it's absolutely hysterical to me. The stuff that you see, like I love that vibe. I did not want to sleep really. I wanted to take naps and just hang out. We had a good time. Me and my husband had a really, really, really good time. So that's why we debating if now we want to bring the grandkids because that might, but we'll see. If my daughter comes, we definitely can bring the grandkids because she can keep her own children. But we'll see.
That'll be good.
All right, Darren, we out. Darren said, here's a 2 hour hearts. Peace.
Have a good day, y'all.
All right.